I am a big believer in the fact that if your car is not sliding or on the edge of adhesion to the track, you are leaving a lot of lap time on the table. But on the flip side, I also believe there is such thing as the car sliding because you made it slide versus your car simply running out of max grip and sliding as a result. Let's speak of the delicate balance between sliding and going fast at the racetrack, or sliding with grip. Let's talk about grip. When I speak of sliding a tire, the first topic that comes to mind is slip angle. So let's start by talking about this, as it is crucial you understand how a tire behaves at its limit. Slip angle is defined as the amount of angle between where a tire is pointed and the direction it is traveling. I know this may be a little tough to comprehend because when we drive a car on the street, a certain amount of steering wheel means the car turns a certain amount, but at the track, tires behave a little different at their limit. Here, we are able to lean on the tires a little harder and exploit how much grip they have by making them slip a little. You know what? Instead of slip, let's call it twisting. As this amount of twist and slide increases, or slip angle, we are given more traction until we reach a peak. Then after a certain amount of slip, the tire transitions to excessive sliding and loss of grip. The amount of slip angle versus traction will be determined by the type of tire you are using, whether it's a slick or a groove tire. Usually, street tires tend to have wider slip angles than competition rubber, hence why you hear me say that cars on grooved rubber are easier to drive on the limit. Simply because there is a wider slip angle window and you can creep up to peak grip as you get comfortable. So some grabs will be wider than others, but all share the exact same concept. Now comes the good part, and the best way I have come to understand this. I'm going to place two vertical lines on this graph and label each area under the curve. Area 1. This is a place where you will be tracking safely, and honestly, it is the place you want to live in. Here, the tires will last a decent bit, but will be screeching as you come into a corner. In this area, you're always sliding with grip. Area 2. Here is where most of the pros live, and the area that is the most dangerous to explore. But if you're able to get there, you will be competing at the top of your class. Best way to depict this area to you is when you are on track and the car starts sliding, but the slide isn't big enough to need a correction. And if you do correct, it usually involves neutral steering or correcting to center, but not past that. Here, tires start to last a little less and screech a lot, but area 3 is where you really tear them up. Here, you have asked the tire to give you peak grip and then ask for more, and the tire simply has no more to give. Overall grip has diminished and the tire is in a place where it is degrading rapidly in this area. The best place at COTA where I can depict this area is the carousel. Say, you go into the carousel a little hot to where the car begins to understeer. Here, adding more throttle or steering can rapidly take you from area 1 to area 3. When we are in this exact situation, it's pretty natural to try to add more steering to make the car turn more. What is the result? The car continues its same trajectory, but you now have more steering wheel in it. Hence, you have excess slip angle on the front tires and therefore even less grip. Living in area 3 will require big corrections, will probably overheat your tires, and will cost you lap time. The goal here is to drive your car in area 2 with all 4 tires. This is when the car under you will have maximum grip. Until you get to that point, there is some improvement to do in your driving and maybe even some setup changes to the car. Now, why did I bring slip angle into the conversation? Well, because a lot of us are of the opinion that when a car is sliding, that means you're extracting all of the lap time out of it, right? But with the graph I showed you, is that really the case? I guess it all depends on what area of the curve you are at. It does show that sliding a tire to an extent gives you max grip, but what if a unnecessary or abrupt input is taking you from area 1 to area 3 or past area 3 into a terminal loss of grip? I call this overdriving. Before I understood the slip angle concept, I strongly believed that if I wasn't countersteering at every corner, I was leaving lap time on the table. Through the years, I have found myself slowing my inputs down to where, yes, sometimes I ask too much of the tire, but I mostly try and live on the furthest right part of area 1 and flirt with area 2. Here is where you will see me doing small inputs to the car to keep it in this threshold and not past. In this area, your inputs have to be smooth and your steering precise. Slow all those big slides down just a little bit to remain on the correct side of the curve. Our goal is to live on the front side of the curve versus the back side of it. If I were to relate each of these areas with a word, area 1 would be gripped up, area 2 would be micro corrections, and area 3 is basically counter steer mania. How is it that my lap times are faster now, that my onboards are a little more calm? Well, I now live on the correct side of the curve, or at least I try to. All right, guys, let me know down below what you think of my correlation between slip angle, sliding, and lap time. Also, does this play a factor as to when you are on the track, put together what seems like an okay lap, and that ends up being your best lap of the weekend? For you, it felt slow, but in reality, you were driving the car to its traction limit and not past, hence the PB for the weekend. You know, sometimes I have left the track scratching my head, but with a PB on hand, there is little to complain about in life, right? That's it for me today. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for similar content and hit that button if you learned something today. See y'all in the next one.